advantages of Windows 8.1 and some reasons you may want to consider transferring or upgrading your operating system. I'm assuming this video is intended for people using Windows 7 currently. The information will still be useful to many of you using Mac OS, Linux, anything like that, although it is aimed at giving the advantages and possible disadvantages of upgrading from Windows 7 to Windows 8. I'll quickly outline the key details for you. Windows 8 has a faster startup. It uses applications instead of the regular program and system installation process that Windows 7 uses. It has better integration with SkyDrive, better security, and a possible touchscreen interface. Now, one of the things I'd like to start with is the touchscreen interface. You can look at this picture from Windows 8. Unfortunately, I'm not running a Windows 8 machine, but I can show you that you can see here the different squares, and this is because Windows 8 takes a different approach to the traditional desktop taskbar and start menu layout that Windows 7 uses. And this has been a very traditional layout. A lot of people have gotten very familiar with it, but it's the same layout you'll notice that's been used for a very long time for Windows. You can see here you may recognise this from the previous operating system, Windows Vista. You'll also notice it looks an awful lot familiar like this one, the operating system previous to that, Windows XP. Back in the day, this is what it was all about. This was like top-notch stuff. So you can see why they've stuck with the layout. It was a big hit at the time. Some of you young viewers may not remember this, but back in the day, this was the business, this is what it was all about. And even before that, 20 years ago, we were still using the same taskbar desktop layout system that we have today. There have been deviations from this in other operating systems. If you look at, for example, iPad systems, well, the iPad operating system, they've moved on to touchscreen interfaces a little while ago. It's been very popular. It's began to be what people expect from a computer, and lots of people are very familiar with it now. It has a number of advantages, such as not needing the traditional keyboard and mouse layout, which we've had for a long time now, about since, I believe, the late 70s. This has been the way people have been using computers, but times are changing, and Windows 8.1 is moving with the times and changing the way it works. The better security I can outline for you quickly, just with talking. You may not notice it straight away, but if you are holding sensitive information, or you do use networking, or you want to use a system for more advanced features than a home user, then the security is a big deal. It's a big deal whoever you are. And the way Windows 8.1 has increased its security is it's removed a lot of the riffraff. It's taken out a lot of things that have been in Windows for perhaps longer than they should have been, removing unexpected exceptions and things like that. And there are only so many loopholes a system has. And because the Windows franchise has been moving forward for such a long time, most of those have been patched up, and they're always finding new loopholes and ways to get into a computer, they being perhaps malicious software, hackers, anything like that. People who want to get things other people don't want them to get. There are always new security holes being found, but the more that's found, the less there are, and there are less in Windows 8 than there are in Windows 7. It comes with an open SkyDrive, a more integrated SkyDrive. You may be asking yourself, well, what's a SkyDrive? Well, I'm very glad you asked that question. Just here a quick Google search. Microsoft Cloud Solutions, let's go here. Now, You can see they're broadcasting as a big idea, they're very pleased with it. What a SkyDrive is, it's a server placed on the internet where you can store documents, files, anything you can on a regular hard drive or flash drive, and it can be accessed anywhere in the world with internet access, which pretty much is anywhere in the world, unless you find yourself in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a life raft. With no Wi-Fi, yeah, maybe you might not be able to grab it, but generally speaking, anywhere you're going to be in the world, you may find it. I'm sorry if you prove me wrong and you do find yourself getting eaten by sharks just trying to download that one last picture that's going to save your life, but fortunately the world's quite big, so you may not get the chance to access your cloud like that. But Windows 8.1 does bring us closer to saving yourself from being eaten by sharks by finding instructional pictures in your cloud drive. By integrating the SkyDrive system on your computer, there are so many advantages to this. You don't need as much hard drive space in your computer, you can access your files anywhere. It's just a good idea, and you'll be glad you have it. I'm sure this will be the norm in no time at all, really. In fact, I'm surprised it's not already a bigger deal. On Windows 7, if you want this, you may have to pay for hosting. I think Windows gives you something like 15 gigabytes for free, but you have to log onto the website, upload and download your files through an internet browser, and frankly it's just more hassle than it needs to be. This can bring me on to the faster startup. Windows 8.1 starts up faster than Windows 7. Obviously if you start Windows 7 on a faster machine than one you're starting Windows 8.1 on, then it will load slower, but generally speaking it's a more compact operating system, and you know, the time adds up. I'm sure you're all busy people. I can show you the reason for that too, and this is a little trick you can try yourself if you, with a little bit of technical know-how. You'll notice I've selected Selective Startup on the MS config, Microsoft System configuration. That's because there is all this riff-raff, all this clutter, things that generally you just don't need, that Windows hasn't taken the time to remove from the operating system until now with Windows 8. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what half these things do. Health key certificate management. My view on it is, if I knew what it was, if I needed it, I'd know what it was. And turning these things off has done nothing but make my computer faster. I'm sure it did take a lot of time. I did research everything I turned off before I turned them off, because there are some things you're going to regret turning off and may cause you even more hassle than a slightly slower startup time. But if you're willing to take the time, or you have the qualifications and know how to know what you're doing, then you can save yourself a lot of time like this. This is what bogs your computer down. This is why old computers get slow, or a large contributing factor. And it's just clutter that doesn't need to be there a lot of the time. Most of the time the services you start off, that start up at startup, will stop after startup and automatically turn back on when they're required, so why start them off at startup? It's just an issue that was perhaps overlooked for the sake of simplicity and sake of time, as these companies are under a lot of pressure in order to get Windows 7 out in time. I don't know the exact reasons, but overall it's not exactly beneficial. The applications being used is another big advantage of Windows 7. Without Windows 7, now without Windows 8, it's a big advantage of Windows 8, okay? Presenters make mistakes too. Windows 8 focuses a lot more on applications than Windows 7. Applications are sort of like programs that integrate with your system, only instead of integrating with your system, they're a lot more modular. So this is just a Windows 8 website, Microsoft.com, not really Windows, showing apps for Windows. And all of these things are incompatible with Windows 7 for many good reasons. It's hardware issues, software issues, but you'll notice, get Windows 8.1 to run this app, you're missing out on all these applications with Windows 7, and more frankly, lots of new software may only be Windows 8 compatible, and you're just missing out on that. So that's a good reason. It's moving forward, it's advancing with the times, and it's a lot more future-proof than Windows 7 or many other operating systems you'll find. It will last you a lot longer than Windows 7. It will go out of date a lot more slowly. So those are just some key features. I hope you found this presentation interesting. If you have any further questions or anything like that, feel free to contact me on email at canesorts@googlemail.com. And yeah, have a good day.